Coast Studios in Oklahoma City. This is an OU update with Ryan Aber. I'm Jenny Carlson. Ryan, Sooners are off and running on the hardwood, and they've got an extra horse out there. TaShawn Thomas is available to the Sooners. Kind of a wild story, though, about how they figured out he was going to be eligible.
Yeah, for about the last month and a half, OU had thought that a ruling on TaShawn Thomas's eligibility after he transferred from Houston was upcoming. It didn't come. And then finally at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night, not long after the Sooners football team had beat Texas Tech, Joe Castiglione got the call, turned around and called Lon Kruger and told him, hey, you've got this guy available tomorrow. You can use TaShawn Thomas. TaShawn Thomas was on the phone with his girlfriend at the time when Lon Kruger called him. Didn't think much of it because Lon Kruger likes to check in on his guys, but set off a pretty wild celebration Saturday night right before OU opened Sunday afternoon against Southeast Louisiana.
Well, obviously kind of a whirlwind of activity, but they do get TaShawn Thomas on the court. What did you see out of him? What did they see out of him in that first game?
Well, first of all, we saw some rust out of him. He clearly wasn't quite game ready, let some balls slip away that I think eventually he's going to be able to corral. But even with his low numbers, I believe it was 4 points, 3 rebounds, you could tell the difference he makes out on the floor. He makes the teams on both ends of the floor respect both sides down in the post. It frees up, takes off some pressure from Ryan Spangler, who was fantastic last year, but at times found himself in foul trouble. Not only will that allow the Sooners to withstand some of that foul trouble down low, but I think it'll alleviate it and make Spangler not have to commit as many fouls because he'll have some help down there.
I also wonder if it has an effect off the bench. DJ Bennett's a guy that was set to start, and maybe he's not as good as TaShawn Thomas, but he's still now coming off the bench. Does that change their bench rotation any? Yeah,
it definitely does. It obviously pushes DJ Bennett down a peg. DJ Bennett was never going to be a big offensive forward down there, but he could stand in there, block shots, pull down some rebounds, not a huge rebounder. But having him come off the bench is huge for this team, adds some depth that they really needed, especially after losing Dante Buford for the season with some eligibility issues that stemmed to his prep school in Florida. But you've got DJ Bennett and Kadeem Lattin that can both come off the bench down there and give you some size. And that's something that this team has desperately missed the last couple years.
Very much so. Okay, so we saw the Sooners in their opener against Southeast Louisiana. But now a real test comes for the Sooners. Not much of a test in that Sunday opener, Creighton on Wednesday night. What are you expecting out of this matchup?
Well, I think it'll be a tough matchup. Even with Creighton losing 4 starters, including the starter, Doug McDermott, obviously National Player of the Year last year. But still, going into Omaha is a really tough place to win regardless. There's going to be about 17,000 people in that packed arena. It's really going to be OU's only true road test of the year. They play at Tulsa, but obviously that'll be a pretty favorable crowd, just like we saw with OU football earlier this year. But they get to go in that environment in a place that there's a chance they could be playing in the NCAA tournament because Creighton is the only first and second round site. We can call it that now after the NCAA decision on Monday, but the only first and second round site that's anywhere close to Oklahoma. So if OU performs as well as it wants to and as well as it thinks it can, then this could be a place that they go for the NCAA tournament.
Interesting stuff. Thanks, Ryan. Sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.